Very good. Okay, my name is Bernard Dean, and I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome everyone to our call today. And Jeff, are you there?
Absolutely.
Okay,
You
before we
bet.
get started, we know we do have some rules and regulations, house rules, and today is going to be an unusual question and answer session. And Jeff, perhaps you can go ahead and open this up by letting us know what are those rules and regulations for this call as we talk to Dr. Prasad.
Absolutely. I will certainly do that. I'll just pull you off of the spotlight here. Bernard, thank you for seating and greeting everybody here on this incredible Sunday afternoon. You go back a year ago, this was Thanksgiving weekend, but now it's next weekend. So there's just a lot of exciting things that are happening this time of year with the seasonal changes. We had a little skiff of snow today. Just such a pleasure to be here with everybody. I've been looking forward to this all month long. Now that Dr. Prasad has returned from India, he's got some amazing insights going back and revisiting his country and to see how many things have changed in the last, I think he was saying about 15 years, but he'll share more of that as we get into today's episode here. Thank you, Bernard, again for doing this. Let's get the disclaimer out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we'll set the regulations for everybody. So I'm going to just pull these words up onto the screen here in front of me and follow along. These statements and comments have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This information is solely for educational purposes only and includes recent advances in research on micronutrients. Engage, the micronutrient company, does not claim that our products diagnose, treat, cure, heal, or prevent any disease or injury. However, Engage's products are designed, are formulated to address nutritional deficiencies and supply the body with the required nutrients. It is important to note that nothing here is meant to be a substitute for professional medical treatment or a consultation with your primary healthcare provider. It is important that you follow what we are doing today. And here, let me get these words out of the way. It's important today. We haven't done a lot of testimonial calls recently. It's important that we maintain a level of professionalism here in keeping with Dr. Prasad, his credibility, ours as Engage affiliates, and as customers that are here, and then brand new people that are going to be asking questions of the doctor. Now, these are not medical questions. Dr. Prasad is not here, like I mentioned in the disclaimer, to heal, cure, treat, or diagnose. And so what we're going to do, and let me just, Bernard sent this over, and he says, remember, Dr. Prasad is not your doctor, and he is not a medical doctor. Dr. Prasad is the world's foremost expert on micronutrition and supplementation. He was the one tapped on the shoulder by the Department of Defense to help our soldiers out. This goes back over 22 years ago when this journey started. And I've got we got to make sure that we are muting people that are disturbing our background, so we got that taken care of. So it's important that today, as you come on and we allow Dr. Prasad to open up and answer questions, the level of professionalism that we need. Let's post your questions in the chat. I think everybody on here today understands the chat, how to get to the chat. You do that by going down to the bottom of your screen. In my case, sometimes it's over on the side, depending upon your setup with Zoom. But most individual Zooms are set up so if you go to the bottom of the screen, you will see right down there chat. It looks like two little bubbles. If you click on that chat, then you can post a question into the chat, and that's where we will be taking questions from, is there in the chat. And I'm so pleased to be here with you today to be going through this momentous occasion as we come into the end of this year. There's so many discoveries that Dr. Prasad has made. These are just right out of that disclaimer. recent discoveries or recent research as it relates to micronutrition. And these go way beyond just vitamins and supplements. This is so much more, and that's why we're so pleased to be here, to be part of this event with Dr. Prasad. And in fact, I'm going to just Bernard, you are unmuted. I muted you. So if you want to say something, you can come on.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna
go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just say your name, your picture was at the top of that, juxtaposed to Dr. Prasad. I know you're hosting today. I'll step back into the background a little bit, help you run things, but I'm still looking at the chat, and no one has placed a question in there as of yet. So maybe you want
That's
to.
okay. That's okay. We have a structured program we're going to be doing while people are deciding their questions. What I'm going to do is we're going to let Dr. Prasad talk to us.
Awesome.
So,
Okay. Add him as
all
a
right.
spotlight up here, and then I'll step out of the way, but I'll be here in the background. Thank
So
you.
Dr. Prasad and myself are spotlighted, and I'm once again want to highlight the point that the questions are being monitored by our monitor Jeff and Helen Ashby, and so we're going to really look forward to your question. But in the meantime, because there are so many people on here, it's very important for everyone to realize what Dr. Prasad's credentials are, and I don't think he get enough chance to really talk about where he came from. And Dr. Prasad, I'm going to, I know we're going to kind of abbreviate your answers because we got a lot of questions for you. And I know you started out back in 1961. But what I'm reading, you actually got your PhD or your master's, I should say, in zoology from the University of Bihar in India. Tell us a little bit about that because you started out with zoology. We're trying to figure out how did you progress to go into radiology?
Yeah, when I was, the main reason was that zoology, that was the only choice we had there. But while doing that, I read about Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombing, and many people died. And so I thought that I like to develop something that can protect human against radiation damage, against radiation death, really. But there was no facility in India. There was no facility except one place, University of Iowa City. In the whole world, they had a PhD program in radiation biology, research in radiation and
Okay.
Got it.
so, and that's the reason I came to Iowa City to study radiation biology, where I had a privilege to eventually I developed a radiation protection formula, but that's the place I started.
Okay, very good. So you started out there, and you in 1963, according to this, you became the world's first radiology biologist. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
radiation biology. I joined them in 1960, but I graduated in 1963.
Wow, wow. Now you went from there. It said you went to Brookhaven. Did you actually go from there to Brookhaven? Or
Yes.
did okay? And now for those of you on here, Brookhaven is one of the most prestigious places you can go in Staten Island, New York. They don't accept just anybody at Brookhaven. And I'm just curious, matter of fact, just tell us very briefly how you got to go to this prestigious place that people that go here actually wound up being something else in the United States. Tell us about that, Brookhaven.
Yeah, it is highly classified. You have to have a highest security clearance from the federal government. No, I was just sitting in my room and the chairman of the department came. He said, Kedar, you are going Brookhaven National Laboratory for your postdoctoral fellow. So I didn't even apply for it. My chairman said, you go there because he knew that I'm interested in this kind of stuff. So he thought that I will do very well there. Whatever the reason he thought it. So I did not apply for it. It was chairman of the department said, you are going Brookhaven National Laboratory.
Wow, wow.
I heard
Man,
about laboratory, that at that time there was only three national laboratory, Brookhaven, Argonne National Laboratory, and one in Tennessee. And so, as I said, it's highly classified. So the department in Brookhaven has to take a highest clearance. And at that time, I was not even a citizen. I didn't even have a green card.
Wow,
But
wow. Yeah,
anyway, I
you
was
didn't
just
have a green
a
card,
citizen.
but you still got approved to go to Brookhaven.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why, but they must have thought I will contribute something good, you know. And
Okay.
that's where it is. Then I got my green card and so on and so forth. It is all sponsored by the Brookhaven National Laboratory.
And I started reading about it, and as I started reading about Brookhaven on the internet, that place, the most brilliant minds in the world
Yes, go
go to
there.
this
Yeah.
place. And I read that on the internet, and I was amazed. So from there, you decided to go to the University of Colorado School of Medicine.
Yeah.
And what happened there? What made you go there, and what did you
Well, I applied
specialize in?
many places for, the job, and University of Colorado is the only one who offered a job of assistant professor. I got a lot of postdoctoral fellow, but I was already did it. And so I applied about at least 30 places, and only Colorado said, yeah, you can come here as assistant professor in the Department of Radiology, where I taught the residents in radiology and to medical student as elective nutrition and cancer. The rest of the time, I had the research done and all supported by the National Institute of Health.
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, if you go to my Engage Global website, we get a chance to read about all your books. We get a chance to read about your peer-reviewed papers. Absolutely phenomenal there. There's one question before we get started with the questions that are coming up on this. Some people think that you just took a picture with Linus Pauling. Linus Pauling, for those of you that don't know, he's one of the most brilliant scientists in the world. Matter of fact, if you look at him, he got 2 Nobel Peace Prizes. So the question that I'm going to ask you in front of everybody here is, were you just passing by Linus Pauling and said, picture together? Or how did you become affiliated with them? And did you learn anything from
No, I think this is I always thought I must do something different. When I joined the University of Colorado, I was doing first in animal study. So I said, it's too complex. I should do simply experimental model. And I picked up neuroblastoma. And I was lucky in a way that the cyclic EMP was just discovered and the fellow who discovered it got Nobel Prize for that. So I said, that is important. I will try cyclic EMP in neuroblastoma cells. And when I tried it, elevate it, they become like a mature neuron, like a normal neuron. That was the
it?
first demonstration that cancer cell can be converted to normal cell. There was no previous evidence of that. And for that, I got a lot of international recognition and invitation for talk. And National Institute gave me a lot of money and so on. So that was my first major discovery.
In,
And
in 1982, correct?
uh,
Was that 1982 that you got that
no, I
study in
think
there?
this is discovery of cyclic AMP was not listed in my that company has produced it. This major discovery was not listed there, but this I did in 1972. And
Wow.
when I sent the paper in Nature, which is a very prestigious journal, it was reviewed by Jacob, who was the Nobel laureate, and he sent me his comment on his stationery, supposed to be very confidential review, but they thought that he is assistant professor, young fellow, maybe he will get encouraged if I send that review, and review was accepted right away. So
Okay, very good. You know what we're going to do? There's a lot we can go into with history with you, but we promised everyone on here that they would get a chance to hear you as far as the questions are concerned. Jeff, I'm going to depend on you to actually ask these questions starting from the one. And as he asks these questions, Dr. Prasad, we're going to ask you to give abbreviated answers. The reason why we're doing this is so we can entertain as many questions as possible. Some people have all types of questions, actually. And some of the questions may be you can answer, but when it comes to, and let's remind everyone, Dr. Prasad is not a doctor. So he's not going to make a criticism on your pharmaceuticals because that's something that takes place between you and your doctors. So that being the case, Jeff, you can tell the
Absolutely.
person and
All right, so immediately Gretchen Daniels jumped into the chat, and her first question for you, Dr. Prasad, this evening is, can you double the dose of Brain Boost?
Yeah, you can. It is harmless, and if
Yep.
you need to, double. But sometimes the cost become inhibitory. It is if you want to do it, but it's not needed. But it is not.
I know that we do it, and Brain Boost is one of the least expensive
Yeah,
products in
yeah.
our
I think
in our
as I said, brain is the one of the organ which exposed to highest amount of free radical than any other organs. And that's why I think if you double the dose, it's all right with me.
Awesome. Well, I know that that's what we do I do 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules in the evening, and many of you will recognize those orange yellowy orange capsules because those are
Yeah.
those are some of my favorite. Brain
That
Boost.
varies depending upon turmeric, whether turmeric
There
is
you
good.
go. Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
now
So
that
next,
you
uh,
but
Bernard, go ahead. I was going to go on to
no,
the next question,
just
but
one thing on the brain boost is yesterday Dr. Prasad and I was talking, and he was telling me that this product was especially designed across the brain boost barrier. And most products that are advocating that they actually affect the brain, most of them cannot cross the brain boost barrier. Is that correct, Dr. Prasad?
blood-brain barrier.
Yeah,
Blood
but
brain.
not only blood-brain barrier, but there is also we have resveratrol there as well. Sometimes them we have a micro daily EMF, we have put additional one. And the reason is resveratrol among all nutrients, that's the only micronutrient or antioxidant that can increase the formation of new mitochondria. And as you
Okay.
know, not only in the brain, but probably it goes in other places as well. And mitochondria is the major source of energy. So if you have
Wow.
more mitochondria, you can produce more energy, and more energy is brain can function better.
Good answer there, brother. Kedar
That
Prasad. Okay. Jeff, the
all
next one.
right. Yes. Very next question. This is from Maggie Nagel. Nagel. Do we know what do we know what endometriosis is, and what can the micronutrients help with it?
I don't know about endometriosis. Probably it is I think it's a one form of that they start dividing. I'm not sure. I can't answer this question. I have to find out do research, and then I will talk to you.
Okay. I mean, just as an uh, our own experience, our daughter-in-law had severe endometriosis and was told that,
Cell divide rapidly, I
yeah,
presume.
and very very difficult for her to regulate her time of the month. Very difficult. But she started onto the micro daily EMF, and it was able to help the body balance and alleviate a lot of those challenges that she had with endometriosis. And so,
Yeah, I
as you
mean, that
so as
makes
you do
sense.
some more research,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
I'm just but just completely from our own family experience, our daughter-in-law was
Yeah,
amazed
because
with it.
most of the thing, as you know, is related to oxidative stress and inflammation. And sometimes it is more in particular organ than the other for other regions, for many regions. And so overall, this is a must, a micro daily EMF. And
Yeah,
I think she should have also gone to probiotics, then the result would have been a much faster.
exactly. As soon as you came out with the probiotics, that's absolutely insisting that she do that. So next one, this is also Gretchen Daniels. She says, "I have a high enzyme of the liver. What protocol would you suggest to fast change to improve my numbers? My overall numbers are excellent besides this." So high liver enzymes. Is there a particular, I'm thinking just again, it's the EMF and the probiotic is an absolute must.
Yeah, I mean, a high liver enzyme, maybe it is a drug. What kind, why it is happened? Do you know in background a little bit?
I don't.
Why
This is
it
good
just
question.
suddenly happened because was he taking any drug or is he old or you have to know some background. But in any case, if you have
So Gretchen opened her mic here for just a moment. Do you want to give us Gretchen, go ahead. Your microphone is open.
Okay, I do not drink. I'm a pescatarian. I don't eat a lot of junk food. I sometimes eat fried foods, but not enough for it to matter, but it's always fish, and I do it at home. So I really don't know why that's happening.
okay,
And
no,
I had surgery in May.
yeah, I mean that enzyme, if it is very high, it is very high. What particular liver enzyme in general is high, or any particular? There are lots of liver enzyme.
Well, they didn't specify, but they want me to do a they want to do a MRI or something on my liver.
I think the most harmless approach to take care of that would be take micro daily EMF and probiotics, and CBD is in a, if you take first, it is a slow effect that inhibits some of the liver enzyme. That's why we don't recommend CBD at high doses for longer time. But in your case, first you tried the micro daily EMF and the probiotics, and if you have some digestion problem, that could be also contributing it. So take digestive enzyme. Those three, if you take it and say a month or 2 months, and then report to Bernard or Jeff how you are doing it, and then we can make further suggestion.
Don't forget to give your cancer and radiation treatment history, Gretchen.
Oh, you have a cancer?
Yes, and my radiation ended in October.
Oh, so you are cancer free now.
Yes, I guess so.
Yeah, if technically you are cancer free, then
Okay.
that will be very important to have that, and those things is very important. You will see that, as I said, try in a month, and you will see that your overall well-being will be in good shape.
So
And
what
sometimes
would you,
people who survive has a brain fog. I don't know if you have it, but if it does, then I will recommend Brain Boost.
okay, so would you
Thank you again. Now we have Dr. Russ Court on as his question for you, Dr. Prasad. Will you discuss your patent on high-dose micronutrients in the treatment of cancer? And again, we cannot use that term, so Dr. Court, we're not treating cancer here. What are the mechanisms of thought behind this patent? Are you at a place to discuss any of that?
Yeah, cancer cells require 2 nutrients for survival. One is glucose and glutamine. And high-dose antioxidant, not low-dose, high-dose antioxidant blocks the uptake and metabolism of glucose by cancer cells. So they have no choice than to die. So even though, for example, in combination with chemotherapy or radiation, which primarily causes damage by free radicals. And so if you combine this damage by blocking the uptake of glucose, and so if you combine with radiation and chemotherapy, you will have more dead cell. But even so, again, anecdotal studies, a lot of experimental data supported, but we don't have a clinical trial. And I'm trying to find out somebody who can run it is cost $1 multi-million to run a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trial. So until it is approved by FDA approved, it remains the experimental basis.
Dr.
Thank you.
Prasad, you had brought out something yesterday. Dr. Prasad had brought out something yesterday I thought was interesting. He said, anytime you talk about therapeutic doses when it comes to our products, he's talking about the micro daily being a therapeutic. He's talking about therapeutic dose in regard to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not really realize that other things does not need really therapeutic doses.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting that you brought that out. And then, of course, I asked him what's the therapeutic dose. And of course, that's something, Jeff, I think you highlight a whole lot of times.
Yeah. For example, vitamin C, generally we have to have 100 or 200 milligram. But therapeutic dose, you are talking about a 5 gram or 10 grams. And so my formula that I have developed is a very high, but as a temporary, as an interim guideline, I said 3 times if you do it, that it can increase close to like 4 grams of vitamin C or something like that. I calculated once, and comes to not close to my formula, but it is very similar.
Good. Okay,
Awesome.
we could go on with this. Go ahead, Jeff.
We're going on. Let's go on to Diana Bingham. She says, I recently started taking the methylated microdaily with the purple label, and I'm truly amazed at the almost immediate boost in energy I experienced. Could you kindly share with what makes the methylated microdaily different from the other microdaily formulas?
Well, methylated form is the what you call microdaily EMF has a methylated form.
It does.
But
it does.
the initial formula was folic acid, and folic acid has to be converted to methylated form of folate for body to use it. And for that, it requires the enzyme called MTHFR. But sometimes in some individual, there is a genetic defect, there is a mutation, MTHFR. And if you have mutation, that folic acid cannot be converted to the methylfolate. And if you don't convert it, folic acid will increase homocysteine level, and that can increase the risk of heart disease. So decided to do it. Original forward did not have it. But when we are talking about long-term consumption, we decide to have methylated form. But energy, you are getting it because you have reduced oxidative stress and inflammation in your body, and therefore your mitochondria is protected, and that's why you are feeling more energy.
Excellent.
Very, very good answer. And also, just to reiterate, the red label Microdaily EMF product, I was looking for a bottle here on my desk, but it also has the methylated versions, and then it has the resveratrol, which we talked about in regards to brain boost and how important that resveratrol is. So the Microdaily EMF is that flagship product. It is it's the best of the best. So if you're good. Okay, so going on the protocol for Alzheimer's disease. I know you've written several books on Alzheimer's and dementia. Is it any different than just taking the core 4?
No, I think no. And I think, the thing is probably all the medication that we are using right now for treatment of Alzheimer's. This is one of them very commonly used, the inhibitor of acetylcholinesterase enzyme. And acetylcholinesterase enzyme destroys acetylcholine. And acetylcholine is the molecule which stores your memory. And so a neuron has to be healthy to make new acetylcholine. So what they do, they try to use the inhibitor of acetylcholinesterase so that it does not destroy acetylcholine. But also, sometimes they use the stimulator enzyme. In other words, they increase the synthesis, the formation of acetylcholine. So these two types of drug are commonly used. But these drugs last only as long as neurons are alive. But neurons are dying because of the increased oxidative stress. So once you can die, then after 3 or 4 months, the drug becomes ineffective. But if you use oxidative or core 4, then you will protect the neuron, and therefore the effectiveness of these medications will last much longer rather than few months because you are protecting the neuron. The second group of drug called antibody against beta amyloid. They developed most recently, that's most FDA drug antibody. But see, the antibody, suppose the beta amyloid is the main reason of causing the Alzheimer's disease. So anything you can block it, that will help in the treatment. But production is you block whatever already is there. But how about new? You did not do anything, producing an increased amount of beta amyloid every day. And you cannot use that many antibody every day. Every day they inject once in a month or something like that. And it has very toxicity. This causes brain hemorrhage and all kind of brain swelling and things like that. So that's no good treatment. And lasts only very few months. So my treatment is that is anything you do, the best treatment is that you use our core 4 plus inhibitor of acetylcholine cholinesterase that you are using it, plus this. And if the antibody is safe, then what will our product will do, it blocks the production of new beta amyloid.
Very good answer, Dr. Prasad. As we move forward, we've got a lot of questions to get to. Sharon also posed in which will help memory. You've talked about it. It's the core 4. You need that core 4. That's the basics of all of it. Plus brain boost. Absolutely. And the next one, why might MMF be better than EMF? It's not. It's actually, you've just described to us that the EMF, because it has resveratrol and it has the methylated versions of the micronutrients, it's much better than the microdaily original. So,
and also some people were complaining there was no reason for, but the cyanocobalamin, vitamin B12, because they also has to be converted to methylcobalamin for body to use it. But cyanide is such a tiny amount, but some people were concerned. So I said, okay, make a methylated form. It costs more, but most of the clinical study has been performed with the cyanocobalamin.
Right.
So again, it both.
Yeah, and that's why my recommendation is always the EMF. It's that flagship product. To make that investment, make it that way.
EMF is good, but sometimes for price reason or whatever reasons,
That's what
decide to take it. Then it's up to them to make a decision.
In fact, yesterday,
another advantage of EMF is, which could be to a certain extent other microdaily as well, that since we are exposed to EMF radiation, we can't avoid it. And this one has a 4 micronutrient that we added it. They were directly tested against EMF radiation. Rest of them are tested against ionizing radiation, but not EMF radiation. But I presume there will be also some effect. So I combine these things to have a maximum effect against the EMF radiation.
In fact, we were talking yesterday.
But if you're not using EMF radiation, but still, in a computer, you must have a Wi-Fi. But suppose if you are free from all these things, then you don't have to take microdaily EMF. You can take the original, methylated other form.
Which is what you told me yesterday, because some people are concerned about the financial aspects, and that's understandable. But even though that original micro daily is a lot less than EMF, it is still effective as far just as effective as it was when it was being used by the military.
I think so. Yeah. I take it.
I do too.
I would say that is a must.
All right.
Yeah, so everything he says, EMF has. Everything he says, micro daily is the foundation. You cannot take you should not be taking these products without the micro daily and the probiotic, and then he's going to tell you what you can add on to actually bring whatever situation you got, perhaps get some control of it. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yes. Okay, so we've got 20 minutes left and got about 20 questions. So it's going to be about 1 minute per question to just kind of give you guidance as we go forward there. So Melissa asked the questions, are any of these micronutrients synthetically derived from petrochemicals?
No.
And absolutely not. Yes. No. So thank you for the question, Melissa. That was awesome. So we've got, hi, what is Brain Boost good for? You went through that, Dr. Prasad, with it reducing the oxidation and the inflammation that occurs in our brains, because our brains use so much oxygen.
Brain has the highest level of production of free radicals. They are exposed daily with highest level. Therefore, you need additional support.
Especially when it comes to things like dementia.
Yeah.
Yep. So Susan Cottrell asks, is Brain Boost good for cancer?
No,
Mm.
I mean, a brain boost is not needed for cancer. And but if you want to take it, it would not interfere. If you are using no, if you are using a conventional therapy, no antioxidant, low dose is recommended.
Okay.
High dose
Awesome.
different. Therapeutic dose, but not low dose. No, not any of those antioxidant which has a low dose in a way. They are recommended when you are getting a cancer treatment.
Hey, there's one thing that everybody on here have to realize that, and something that he just said, I hope you caught, is with these products. I had one person that was taking it all in the morning, and they said, I'm gonna take it all one time. And all of a sudden, Dr. Prasad came on and told us, he said, these are designed to work during the daytime, and then the second segment when you're sleeping. You cannot also use just one dose, so you can save for the next. A lot of people have asked that. So we talked yesterday. I told you I was hoping that we get a chance to bring that out. You must take the product the way it's supposed to be taken.
Twice.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Because if you don't do it, then the fluctuation, if you take morning, half of them gone in the evening and another half. And so body sees a lot of fluctuation in the level of antioxidant, and that alters a lot of gene expression. And while doing so, it is possible that one time they do mistake in DNA and can cause mutation, and that could be harmful.
Excellent.
So in order to maintain a steady level, we said relatively a stable level, we said take twice a day.
So twice a day, keep the inflammation away.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right. So next question from Sharon McDonald. Which product will help with severe anemia?
Good question.
Well, depending on what kind of anemia, if it's iron deficiency anemia, then you take iron with vitamin C. That's doctor recommends all the time. So without knowing what kind of anemia is, it's tough to say.
What about the new Heart Boost? Would that help at all with the circulation? Just a thought.
Anemia could causes, there could be many causes of anemia. And, sometimes Black population has a, genetic issue involved. But in any case, the micronutrient would not hurt you, for sure.
No.
And then if you have an iron deficiency anemia, then you take iron. Different time than
so,
you take.
Yeah, blackstrap molasses is also something that really helped my dad when he had blood issues. So blackstrap molasses is a fantastic form of iron as well. So going on, John says, please compare Fatty 15, a patented omega product, to our omega. We don't have Fatty 15's supplement facts panel in front of us. So no.
15, which is commercially sold, is
Yes.
X15 or something like the XL15 or omega.
Probably.
Yeah. I did research on that one. An amount of DHA is very little. No use.
No use. Yeah. So that's
Because
why
you'd believe we have about 500 milligram of DHA and 250 milligram of BPA, and there it was like less than 1 milligram.
Wow. Yeah, that in essence, he's saying most of the omega-3s.
I mean, the omega, they have oil. Oil could be many things. Most of them are not DHA and EPA. We take omega-3, main reason is DHA and EPA. DHA helps your brain function improve. EPA helps your heart function.
There you go.
But if you have very tiny amount, that's why I'm not sure it will do any good.
Okay, Jeff, we have to move on though.
Right.
That's omega-3.
Thank
Our omega-3 is one of the best on the market.
Oh, it's not one of it is the best. And then Dr. Prasad has also included the vitamin E acetate as an antioxidant, so we get a very stable and long shelf life. So if you're going to make that investment, there is just not a better one out there. So there we go. Going on, this is Melanie, would it be an issue to take acetyl L-carnitine? It has been said to assist with tremors. I know that L-carnitine is in the Heart Boost.
Yeah, no, I think this is okay to take it. This is harmless. This is okay to take.
Awesome. Okay, super. Sabrina Nichols, do we know what human T lymphotrophic virus type 1 is, and can the micronutrients help it?
Well, anything micronutrient can stimulate your immune function, and therefore you can fight any kind of virus or bacterial infection.
Hey, Jeff,
That's experience.
Dr. Prasad said something I thought was interesting. He said, COVID virus. People say, I'm scared of COVID. I'm kidding. But he brought out that COVID virus has been around a long time, and there's all types of different kinds of COVID viruses. However, when you take the micronutrients, they give your cells the strength to actually fight off any type of virus. I've not been with this program for about 2 years, and I noticed that every one of my clients that went through COVID or whatever, that they did not have a life-threatening event.
Yeah. So it is very important to have immune function. And immune function damaged again by oxidative stress and inflammation. So if you protect immune system, it remain healthy and then fight not only a viral infection, but also bacterial infection.
Interesting.
Don't get a cold and when you are in a school or job.
I have to compliment you on this, Dr. Prasad. I think everyone on here is learning a whole lot about these multivitamins and how our products stand out among the rest. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's just where they're not even considered multivitamins. They're multiple micronutrients, which is definitely above all of the rest that are out there. That's been our experience. And so I need to apologize. Earlier, I said there's 20 questions left. I didn't realize until I scrolled down through the chat that a lot of those were direct questions to me as one of the co-hosts. And so, no, I can count, everybody. I can't count. It's just, it was giving me 20
Jeff,
of them.
you're doing a good job. No need to apologize. We can move on with the questions, please.
All righty, super. So as we go down through these, Dr. Court writes, the children patented gummy. It also has the methylated form. And so, yes, right now, because we are celebrating this month and Black Friday with a buy two, get one free, you get the methylated versions of the micronutrients and a patented formulation here with the gummies. And it's not just for children. We know a lot of individuals, including myself, that really loves those gummies throughout the day. So thank you, Dr. Court, for mentioning that. Sharon asks, where can we purchase these products? Please get back with the individual who invited you onto today's call. They will have that information and a means whereby you can save a lot of money by getting these products in bundles, in packages. One that we had referenced already, the Core 4. Okay, so Sharon, this is from Horace. Sharon, get back to the person. Yep, thank you. So I'm seeing these questions as I'm just rolling down through them. Microdaily has no iron in it. Is that because iron and vitamin C cannot be in the same product? And that is absolutely, Dr. Prasad. You want to take just a moment and reference why you don't include the iron?
Because first, it is combined with vitamin C and generates a lot of free radicals, one. And then in the presence of antioxidant, it gets absorbed quickly. Iron gets absorbed quickly. Then your blood, where they have protein called ferritin, they binds it. So bind form is okay, but then it gets quickly saturated because in the presence of antioxidant, the iron is being absorbed much quicker. And so once that happens, then free iron is floating in your blood and causing all kind of free radical generation combined with other molecules in your body and generating free radicals. And increased iron can increase the risk of many chronic diseases. And as a matter of fact, in old days, one of the treatment of Parkinson's disease was chelator of iron.
Wow. Well, so even a greater understanding, we just would normally say the vitamin C and iron create additional free radicals. It would be like the vitamin C is causing the iron to rust in your body. Is a way of looking at it. But Dr. Prasad has given you so much more information there with his understanding. All right, going on just quickly here. How would Microdaily help with microplastics now being discovered in our foods? Can the Microdaily EMF help at all with microplastics?
The only thing it can do it for the plastic microplastic is it goes into your lung and can get rid of, but it causes inflammation, and inflammation causes damage. So it can block the toxic effect of plastic rather than plastic itself, because plastic can't be removed. But what action it causes, they can be prevented, and Microdaily can do it.
Awesome. That's some incredible news, because we're hearing that a lot in the news these days. It's about all the microplastics that we're being exposed to. And so just like the EMF radiation, there's not a lot that we can do about it, but you can take the Microdaily and it'll assist your body in reducing the effects.
Inflammation, that's the main reason for it, why it is so damaging. It causes a lot of. See, it is the same true is, if you have a polluted environment and you breathe particles, goes to your lung, the particles you can't remove it. That's a solid particles, but that causes inflammation. But inflammation, you can prevent it, and therefore prevent damage.
Perfect. So Carol Bryan has a question here. Is our alpha-lipoic acid in Microdaily, this is supposed to be the best type for absorption? So Dr. Prasad,
it is alpha-lipoic acid. It is better absorb the other form, alpha or D.
So ours is the best, because you're involved with this and you know these things. Okay, Pat. Pat says, what's the protocol for someone with arthritis, and is surgery recommended to replace cartilage?
Well, replace cartilage, that's a tough one. I mean, that is a bone issue, and for that we have developed a separate formula. But I can't tell those things as yet.
That's one of those ones.
One thing one can do for sure. One thing, the minimum you can do, it takes the nutrition for your health, Microdaily or Core 4. Plus, you take also a calcium magnesium ratio of 2:1. It is shown by, that's what I take it. And because magnesium helps calcium to get into the bone, because something has to be done. And this ratio is very important. Sometimes ratio is 3:1. The excess amount of calcium can cause also health problem. But 2:1 has been the best ratio of calcium. So at least you take calcium, magnesium, that will help you some. Like I'm taking it, I have at my age, I have osteoporosis. But, because osteoporosis, one of the main reasons is, for example, in women, they lose hormone earlier stage in mid-50s. But men live in 70s. But so nobody pays attention of osteoporosis in men. So I asked one time a doctor, why people are more concerned of osteoporosis in women, but not in men. He said, because men does not develop until much later, so we don't send them to a doctor. But the problem is that you can't take a hormone supplement at the later stage, because that causes increased risk of heart disease, stroke.
Yeah.
So I will just do whatever I'm doing it.
Yeah, what a wealth of information, you guys. We are here today with just 5 minutes left, and we've got Dr. Kedar Prasad, the world's foremost expert on micronutrition and supplementation, here as our guest, answering questions. And understand he's not a medical doctor. He just happens to be the world's first radiation biologist, PhD. He taught doctors at the University of Colorado School of Medicine for 30 years. And so it's our fortunate privilege to have him here with us. I have a direct message here. What is recommended for transverse myelitis diagnosis? I don't even know what transverse myelitis is.
I think myelitis is generally, I don't know really. I have to
Well, we
research
know it
that
involves
one.
inflammation.
But probably it is caused by inflammation. And so, I mean, most of the disease you see it, oxidative stress and inflammation, but I don't know about this disease, and there cannot make it. But micronutrient, this core 4 is so important for your general health. While doing so, I don't know, it may help, it may not help, I don't know. You have to consult your doctor.
Okay. Next one, we're going to go on to Sabrina Nelson. She says, what products can help with the nervous system?
Nervous system
We know,
is very good. CBD is the best one.
yes.
CBD is the best one. And the reason is you become nervous or you have anxiety or depression or nervousness, because your brain has very little serotonin, very little dopamine, and this is one of the non-toxic substances, CBD, that can stimulate the inside of the cell, increase the serotonin level in the cell, so you feel calm and quiet. It also increases dopamine level in your brain, so you feel happy about it. It also, another thing is it reduces the production or release of glutamate. And glutamate make you hyperactive and anxious, anxieties, It does all three things. Not many drugs can do that. And
That's why our CBD is so perfect, because you've insisted that it be a 100% crystalline isolate, and so
Yeah.
you don't have the broad spectrum or the
No.
full spectrum. It's just CBD. Awesome. So I'm going to combine these two questions here together. They're in the same frame. Julia's iPhone says, which medication can free up constipation? And I've got another one here. And what can be taken for indigestion, gas, and bloating? So those two are kind of can go together.
Yeah, I think in that case, it is a perfect combination would be probiotics that we have, prebiotics, and digestive enzyme.
Along with that
Perfect.
microbiome, along with that
Let us know. I mean, let audience tell you or the Bernard how they feel after taking, say, 1 month.
Oh, that works.
Awesome.
It works wonderfully. Wonderfully.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time within a week, but I'm just saying 1 month at least.
All right.
Awesome. So Bernard, I'm going to shift it back over to you. I think we handled pretty much everything. We've got a tinnitus and Hep C question here quickly, but I think we can get back to those. I want to end on time. So
it is just the tinnitus. It has been very helpful. Macro Daily.
Wow.
Your daily. Yep.
Audiologists have experimented with the patient who has tinnitus.
Well, this has been an eye-opening experience. Do you all agree that this was a wonderful session? If you do, just kind of give them this right here. How about this right here? Right there before the camera. Okay. And I personally, I thoroughly enjoyed this. If you would like to actually see this again from time to time to answer your personal questions about inflammatory conditions as well as micro daily and the micronutrients, not vitamins and minerals, micronutrients, and how it actually helps you to have a quality life. Would y'all like to see this more often? Okay, I see all hands out there going. Then Dr. Prasad, I have to say this to you. You are a legend. You are the man. You are the myth.
Thank you.
We're so blessed to have you. You're about to turn 90, and that right there, just your presence in itself says that you know what you're doing. Jeff, would you like to have any closing statements before we get ready to close out this call?
I just want to say, Bernard, I'd love to support something like this once a month or once every other month, where we can get together and just have access to
that kind of question.
Yep.
Yeah, people like to know. I like it.
Excellent.
Right.
And by the way, we have a lot of people that's on this call that are actually not only customers, but you're also affiliates. And the reason why we bring you on these calls is as you talk to your people, it is your responsibility to know what the potential of your products are.
Exactly.
And the more you do this, the more we get the word out. Because remember what Dave Nemelko says, our purpose is to do what? Bring wellness I'm helping you out.
Yeah.
To the world.
To
To the
y'all.
world.
I had to say it. I can listen to 3 of us. So, first of all, so we want to thank you. Remember the specials that are on for the month. I didn't see what the program is next week. Every week at 5 o'clock, we have these programs to assist you to be not only knowledgeable in regard to your health, but also to make sure that whatever conditions your relatives, your friends are going through, that they'll get the best possible chance for their bodies to have better quality of life. And that's what our purpose of being on here is. So I just want to thank everyone for coming on. If you have any questions, please go to the person that invited you to this call